Yo, welcome back to Product of August. I'm Jay. Appreciate you stopping by the channel. If it's your first time by the channel, make sure to take a look around, see what videos you like, leave a comment, subscribe if you can, and I appreciate you being here. And if you've been here, appreciate you. Thank you for putting your stock in me, man. Thank you for putting your cash down because, hey, we're going up to 500, bro. We're going up to 500 subs in a year or 2, 3 years, whatever, as long as it takes. As long as it takes. Today, I wanted to talk about it doesn't need to be, you don't need that one thing in order to make something. Specifically, I wanted to talk about this in music and most definitely in hip hop. So there's a variety of different examples across all different types of eras and sub niches, right? You got XXX with his Dirty Sound, him and Ski coming up. That was after Raider Clan. That was also very lo-fi, very grungy. You know, look at old Denzel Curry, look at old Xavier Wolf, Ether Wolf. Look at old Suicide Boys. So, and that, you know, that stems from that old Memphis and Texas tip. So look at 3-6, you know, look at old UGK like 1991, 93. Like, look at how dirty and how, you know, how just, you know what I mean? It's rough around the edges. It's not polished. It's not cute. It's not clean. And it's raw. It's unfiltered. So if you think you need that 4K camera in order to start shooting pictures or going out and recording videos, you don't need it, man. Like, I'm over here, like, look at my whole channel, look at me now. Like, I'm literally recording off of cameras that I grew up on, that were shot on like home videos, and then I just kind of mimic that same vibe because that's what's viable to me. That's what makes sense to me, and it feels like, for me at least, that's organic. People are shooting videos off their phones. People, like, if your end goal is money, you are always going to be unsatisfied, and there's not going to be that one thing that is really gonna just do it for you. You know, your goal is the dollar. You know, your goal isn't to make something that's gonna inspire somebody, or you're not even making things that you think are cool. You're just doing it just to do it. You feel me? So with these examples that we have, like X and Ski, you know, the microphones were spiking all the time, and then that's why they had to really just pitch the beat to almost like crowd their vocals. So that's why it feels like this, you know, like all that goes crazy because it's like this, it just hits your headphones. Like the first time you hearing some of these songs, like Gnarly Bastard, oh my goodness, the first time I hear some of these songs, like whenever I was in high school, it was really truly an experience. It's the same way 3-6 was too, and still is to this day. There's songs that still pop up on SoundCloud or just on the YouTube algorithms I've never heard, and it's just because of the lack of clarity and the lack of fidelity, it kind of lets you fill in the spaces, almost on a lo-fi. Like, think of a low poly games like Silent Hill, or even those old, I can't think of the name right now, but the old samurai games on the PS1. That's why that aesthetic is so popular, and it even, you know, you'll see these popular D-Mix that'll pop up as well. They're so popular because it's more entertaining to your brain when you have to fill in those areas. If everything is cool, crisp, and clean, it's not necessarily a problem, but there's less filler. So that filler is what makes it creepy in a horror aspect. So those low poly, you like PS1 LSD Simulator, that is a beautiful game, and it can also be a very horrifying game, you know? So it's like those moments where you have to pop in and fill in those areas, it makes it more entertaining, and also it kind of even keeps your viewer or your reader more engaged. So from a perspective of entering, from a view, and also just the whole experience. So again, remove that money tip, because the money tip, if regardless of what you go into, any job you do, any activity you do, any service you do, if you're only looking for the check and you're not caring about the work, the end consumer is going to feel it. The end consumer will always feel it. That's why you'll see artists have to take that time away. You know, like, I hate to bring it up, but he's not really a big artist to me personally, because like I said, there's so many artists out there that will always fill up your cup. You just got to look for it. Sometimes the algorithms aren't pushing it, and that's why we get stuck in these echo chambers. But an artist like Frank Ocean, it is like he's just not it, you know. And he's got pretty money. He did the Endless thing. He finessed Apple. He's got the money. So it's like I would never want to see an artist put out something just to put out, especially after so much hype has been built and so much, it's always just been this, that, and the third. And again, he hasn't made a comment about anything publicly since like 2018, 2019 or whatever. So that's just that's not an artist that's like super near and dear to my heart. Of course, I love Blonde, I love Channel Orange, Nostalgia Ultra, but it's like you need to know what's good for you as your artist, because people are going to consume regardless. People are going to consume whether you're here today or gone tomorrow. You don't need that one thing. That one thing will not set you free. It won't get you 10K views. It's not gonna do the numbers you think it is, especially if you have no reps in the tank. If you're just over here starting on a clean tank, it's like, I'll start producing once I get this. Like, if you already have a laptop, you can finesse. If you already have a laptop, you can finesse. So you can find an ulterior motive somewhere. It's like, maybe it's not Logic, maybe it's not Bandcamp, maybe it's not Fruity Loops, but Ableton might be the one for you for that right now, And it's like, you'll have to find these different avenues. So it's honestly about trying to get to that rep. Tyler, the Creator, perfect example. A lot of Goblin and his early work on Bastard a lot of those beats were only made in one session, because back in the day on those old versions of Fruity Loops, he had the demo version, so it can only be made in that session, and after it's made, it's made. They didn't have access to go back and edit the file, so Yonkers was made in one session. You would make him like right before he goes to the skate park, so he just had that time and that space and that vacuum, and honestly, that will force your hand to make something shake. So it's like, if you really want to see this through, it's like, I got an hour and a half, let me cook, do something. So these restrictions and these limitations honestly will force your hand as an artist, as a creative, in whatever avenue you're in. So it's honestly, look at it more as an advantage rather than an inhibitor. So you can go out and make what you make. And then I'll try to see if I can put this old Childish Gambino interview, but he was saying, like, if I grew up with an iPhone, and this was back in 2013, but he was like, if I grew up with a smartphone, I would have been shooting videos all the time. And look at his old work. I'm talking about pre Freaks and Geeks, pre-camp. Like, if you look at the I'm Not a Rapper cover art and everything like that, like, it's pretty cringe. It's pretty cringe looking back on it now, but he already knew that risk. He already knew where he was going. So it's like, you can make these things happen. So I just wanted to share a little tidbit. And again, appreciate you stopping by. I'm Jay. Welcome to Product August. Appreciate you.